because the left really can't meme. Now,
And let's just go ahead and do the whole the left can't meme thing. Remember, instead of actually pulling up numbers on people who are in fact censored and are in fact affected by this, instead I'm going to pull out a random talking point. I'm going to quote it because you already believe in the quote. And if you already believe in the quote, then it's more likely that you are going to take that, internalize it, and go, yes, the right is being censored because the left can't meme. Let's talk about Jeremy. Let's talk about the Quarter Pounder. This video, I did not know if I wanted to cover or not, but then Cherry dropped it on my front door, and I mean, they are doing their damnedest to edit these videos together, so I might as well go ahead and cover it. But before we figure out what he is quite angry about today, let's go ahead and take a look at the fan art section. This first one is from the Robotic Kitty. Anon with the points to make me say the most terrible word in the weeb language. And me just sitting there, stunned, about to be forced to say the thing. And then this next one is from Dusk, a Suris puka that found a cookie jar. Boop. Again, stop insulting burgers. I'm not insulting burgers. Yet. Anyways, as always, thank you for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future episode, the best way to do so is to drop it into the Discord server, where I will be able to get to it in the fan art section. With that said, this video is titled, "Very Bad People Are Using Twitter's New Meme Ban to Avoid Detection." Okay. I'm just going to say this right now. Jeremy looks very worried. Like, look at this man. Look at this man. He looks very worried right now. Very, very worried. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know how to feel about it. I also don't know how to feel about the fact that my eyes are, like, almost locked in place.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from TheQuartering, and yesterday...
Oh, no, you're sped up. Let's unspeed you up.
when I reported on this new Twitter feature, not a benefit, a feature, I talked about how, of course, it would be used by people who want to hide being awful. And that's exactly what is happening. After less than 12 hours, I've got several examples to share with you of people that should absolutely be in the public space, in my opinion.
Okay.
Using this brand new feature to remove what I could only describe as evidence of just terrible, terrible behavior. I'll give you a quick over.
Now, I'm just going to go ahead and point out right now, it is very telling to me that when TheQuartering covers a lot of his stuff, the news outlets he chooses tend to be very right-wing. It is circumstantial that we happen to be on Fox News, I assure you.
Review. Obviously, most people are not a fan of this. This is for corporations. This is for political reasons. This is for, you know, banning memes. It's just exactly what it's for. I don't think anyone was requesting this. And look, as somebody whose face is used in a meme that, you know, several memes that are not, I believe, not representative of my opinions and paint me in a really negative light, I don't care. I won't be blocking them or removing them.
Okay, cool. You don't care. I'm very glad that you, as a person who does not care, has the ability to speak for everyone. You have the ability to speak for everybody who might potentially be featured in content that they don't want to be featured in. I'm glad to know that you, the Pope of all people who should care, managed to provide the opinion here.
It's to protect politicians, corporations, and apparently the absolute worst of society. We'll just take a second here. New Twitter CEO, Twitter rules CEO signals that social media giant still doesn't understand freedom of speech. Oh, but they do understand freedom of speech. They absolutely understand it. They don't like it. There's a difference.
So I have a question. Twitter's a private corporation, right? They're a private platform owned like by themselves. So is it that they do or don't understand freedom of speech, or that they do or don't like it? Or is it that they, as a private corporation, can choose whether or not they want something featured on their website? So it is to protect corporations. He's right about that. Look, I'm not going to say that a corporation is not doing something to protect itself and the interests of people who have money. That's an obvious thing. I'm pointing out that his lightning rod that he's going for is going to be, oh no, protesters can talk about their stuff being taken off. The examples that he's going to use are very telling. Watch.
Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey resigned from his post this week, and his replacement was named to the job. Questions immediately circulated over what would it mean for speech on Twitter. Dorsey has famously banned President Donald Trump, but continued to allow accounts from despots and their spokespeople in places like North Korea and Iran. Would the new CEO take the similar nonsensical measures?
So, I do agree that we should be applying the same standards that were applied to Trump to other world leaders. I do. If they're calling for terrible things, then they do need to be knocked off the platform. Now, what Fox News would say is, no, Trump shouldn't be knocked off the platform, and here's our examples as to why. I would say, no, they need to knock all the other people off the platform too. Fuck them.
In an interview with MIT Technology last year, the new CEO said that one of the changes today is that we see speech is easy on the internet.
Yep.
Most people can speak. Where our role is particularly emphasized is who can be heard. Of course, who can we ban? The scarce commodity today is attention. There's a lot of content out there, a lot of tweets out there. Not all of it gets attention. Some subset of it does. So increasingly, our role is moving toward how we recommend content. And that sort of is a struggle that we're working through in terms of how we make sure these recommendation systems that we're building, how we direct people's attention. Keyword there, friends. How do we direct people's attention? Look, just...
How is that significant? This is about how algorithms show stuff to people so that when... Okay, so here's what Quarter Pounder's take is probably going to be. His take is likely going to be that they are directing people in such a way so as to influence them, to brainwash them into some kind of liberal propaganda or some shit. Whereas what's actually happening is they are trying to make sure that the tweets that you are more likely to see and engage with are the ones that are stuck on the platform. They're the ones that are going to be shown to you more. If something is trending already, it's likely going to show up in your feed more quickly. Other things have a tendency of getting buried. This is because Twitter's algorithm, much like YouTube's algorithm, favors engagement and time spent on the platform. Because the more you scroll through something like Twitter, the more you have the ability to see ads, promoted ads on Twitter. This is a pretty standard practice for how these things have worked for a while. Apps like this favor the amount of time they can keep you on them. That's the name of the game. And they filter content to try to make sure that they can keep you on their app as long as possible.
Just like on YouTube, for example, I have 1.1 million subscribers on YouTube. A good video for me maybe gets 150,000 views, maybe 200,000 views. On Twitter, I don't know how many followers I have on Twitter, maybe 120 or 150,000 or something like that. A good post for me, which is usually a post of my animals, my dog or my cats, might get 500 likes. I have tens of thousands of followers on my Facebook page. Same thing there. Very rarely will a post get more than a couple of hundred likes. And it's because of this directing people's attention. Facebook doesn't want you to see my posts. It's why when Parler launched and everybody was flooding there, I had in 12 hours 170,000 followers on Parler or something like that. It was insane. I would post something and it would get thousands of interactions. Mm-hmm. And it was like, wow, this is what it feels like to be unshadow banned.
Okay, wait, hold on. We got a problem here because you seem to not understand something very, very critical here. The idea of a legacy viewer. Now, what does this mean? What's a legacy viewer? What does that have to do with anything? If you are a legacy viewer of content, you are somebody who's been there for a while. Now, if you have been on a platform long enough to have legacy viewers, which is what you would have on Twitch, it's what you would have on YouTube, it's what you would have on any of these platforms. There are people who are subscribed to you, who are following you, who have stopped caring about your content for ages ago, but they have not taken the time to cut themselves off from you in such a way as like unsubscribing. They've simply let you fall through the cracks. There's a lot of creators who I'm subscribed to who have simply fallen through the cracks. Now, as such, when you release a video and it goes out, the subscribers who've fallen through the cracks, they don't get those notifications anymore. The algorithm recognizes that they are not engaging with those posts, and then it stops showing them those posts. Is there an aspect to it that could be shadow banning? Yes, because we know that Twitter does that, and we know that YouTube buries people in the algorithm. But by and large, if you're getting 150,000 views, if you're getting 10% of your subscribers as viewers, those are good numbers, because that takes into account the legacy viewers who are no longer watching your content, but are no less subscribed. When you go to a website like Parler that is new, you do not have legacy viewers. Legacy viewers do not exist on that website for you when you hop on for the first time. They are all new viewers. They are engaged with you as a new member of the audience on that platform, irrespective of how the algorithm for that platform works. They are new viewers. As such, they are more likely to engage with your content because they just hit subscribe or follow literally a handful of days ago at that point. This is basic shit. It can't be either that you make shit content and got very lucky with a shout out from PewDiePie. It can't be that irrespective of the quality of your content, you are pushing content out for legacy people who are not engaging with you anymore. It must be the big bad evil corporation shadow banned you. It has to be that one, right? And then you use Parler as the example to go, this is what it's like to not be censored. Bitch, this is what happens when you've been making content for years. And make no mistake, with few exceptions, it happens to everyone.
Uncensored. And of course, we know what happened with Parler. I know they're trying to make a comeback. And then there's Getter and there's Gab. Each one of these alt techs, see a surge every time something like this happens. But people are still addicted to Twitter. And it's like, to give you an example, the amount of work it takes for me to embrace alt tech is immense.
Is
I
it?
Record a video. Mm-hmm. I post a link about it on Twitter. Then I post a link about it on Gab. Then I post a link about it on Getter. Then I post a link about it on Minds. Then it gets uploaded to Odyssey and BitChute. And Rumble. All of these things happen.
Yep.
But I'm probably in the 0.01% of the population on YouTube that does all this work.
Okay. I have to stop you. Does all this work? Boy, howdy. Can I go ahead and unleash a kraken for you? A piece of technology that has existed for years that you are not taking advantage of that makes your life so much easier? Okay, look. Odyssey will auto-upload all of the videos that you put out on YouTube without you having to do jack. I know because my videos go up on Odyssey. BitChute will upload all of your videos without you having to do jack. I know because my videos have gone up on BitChute. Granted, I have to get in contact with them about fixing getting my videos up on there again because when my YouTube channel got stolen, that made it very hard for my videos to pop up again for some reason. I need to contact staff over there. I don't like the people around on BitChute, but I recognize that it is better to get messages out to people who do not like you and do not agree with you than it is to speak to your own echo chamber. But now, those are automatic things. Quartering wants to talk about, like, these are extra work that I'm doing to engage in alt tech. It's not extra work. It's literally all automatic. But you talked about posting to Minds, posting to Parler, posting to Twitter, posting to. Might I introduce you to another piece of technology that has existed for years that you are simply not using that fixes these problems? I'm not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, but IFTTT. IFTTT. If you have never used IFTTT, it will solve... No, it's even simpler than Control... copy. It's even simpler than that, Alpha Mario. IFTTT. This is a website that when a thing happens, another thing happens. It's called If This Then That. If I post on YouTube, then creates a post on Twitter. If I post on YouTube, then creates a post on Minds. If I post on YouTube, then creates a post on Discord. And the service is free. It's free. All that work that you're bitching about that makes you oh so special is all done automatically by a bot. And Quartering wants to... And Quartering wants to be upset about, like, look at all this extra stuff I have to do to engage with alt tech. And it's like, no. No, it doesn't. There's no extra work here. It is all handled by bots. It can all be handled by bots. I know, because I have bots handle all that shit for me. But okay. Bitch more.
Me and Six Hexenhammer. That's it. As far as that I know of, that are populating, going out of their way to try and interact with people on these alt tech platforms. So it's difficult to break free of that. And what we're seeing from Twitter is more control. And it's not what you want to see. It's what they want you to see.
Right. That's how algorithms work. But subsequently, what you want to see and what they want you to see end up being very similar. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing about engagement algorithms. When I interact with, let's go ahead and use a VTuber as an example, okay? Let's use Kana Nate. I like Kana's content. They make amazing shit. And they also happen to be a wonderful person. So if I'm on Twitter and I engage with posts that Kana makes, some new pixel art they've made, a new animation, a breast reveal, that one was a funny meme, then I am more likely to see stuff from Kana because I have interacted with Kana. If we're here, I'm just going to go ahead and... It's a lot easier to articulate this if we just go and just go to Kana. So here is Kana. If I interact with Kana, I see one of their wonderful pixel art animations, then it is more likely I'm going to see more of that. I want to see Kana being trolled by Freya. Then I'm going to see Kana being trolled by Freya. Because I've interacted with those posts. I have clicked yes on seeing these posts. That's as far as I'm going to go because sometimes it's not safe to be on Kana's page. Twitter's algorithm will likely hand me stuff from Kana a lot more often because I've interacted with Kana. Also, how's it going, Gorzner? Or Gornzer? It is what Twitter wants me to see, and it is what I want to see. It's what Twitter wants me to see because it keeps me engaged on the platform more. And it's what I want to see because, well, I hit the fucking like button myself. Yes, Twitter does curate this stuff. It does. It really, truly does. And it's not benevolent. It's definitely meant for Twitter's own benefit. But maybe you should learn how these things work before bitching about them so terribly much.
The new CEO certainly doesn't sound like he believes Twitter's role is to facilitate free speech. The day after the announcement, Twitter announced changes to its private information policy, where they are notified when we are notified by individuals depicted or by an authorized representative that they do not consent to having their private image or video shared, or video, We remove it.
Cool. So if somebody has revenge porn on there, they'll remove it. If somebody did not consent to have... What's bad about that? If somebody did not consent to have their private information shown on a public platform, why are you for the invasion of their privacy, Quartering? I'm just curious, Jeremy, why are you advocating for the stripping away of individual people's privacy? Mr. Krabs, thank you for redeeming your points for an ada, you fucking monster. But yeah, no, how is this the take? Why is this the take?
Who's this for? This is for the peaceful protesters from the Summer of Love. This is for all those
Most of the people who protested were in fact peaceful, and no, they don't want you filming their shit. Okay.
Losers in the armpit of the United States in Portland, Oregon. By the way, I love my Portland viewers, but you know, I'm not talking about you. You know, I'm talking about these Chaz idiots. You know.
But that was in Washington, wasn't it? I'm fairly certain that was not Oregon, was it? Maybe I'm wrong, but that's Chaz was it a Portland, Oregon thing, was it? Am I just misremembering?
When they want to get up to no good, this is getting rid of accounts like Andy No, who will commonly post criminals on in the act on Twitter.
Wait, why am I not surprised? Sorry, trying to find things. Why am I not surprised that Quartering is sitting here standing Andy No? Tracking is going to be off for just a second. Trying to find a way to unscrew up my area. So Andy No, the guy who routinely lies about the footage that he has created, who routinely pretends that he's been the victim of violence, when it's been proven time and again that he wasn't. Andy No, the guy who routinely only covers one side of something so as to sensationalize it. And then when more context is shown, repeatedly, time and again, we find that actually he's a bullshit artist. You're Andy No, who routinely works with neo-Nazis. That's the guy? That's your guy? That's the guy that you're so concerned about not being on the platform? Oh my god, the company we keep.
This is to get rid of people like libs of TikTok, which, you know, oftentimes post videos of these, you know, people being crazy. However, or this is to go after Defiant L's, for example.
Okay.
I'm going to start putting...
I actually don't know who those other two are, so I'm not going to really talk about them that much. I can't have an opinion on something I just don't know about.
Putting my face on every one of my thumbnails, so then anytime somebody posts one of my videos to Twitter, I can just take it down. This is how people will use it. Okay, cool. Then just take it down. Like, your video's still on YouTube, right? Why does it matter if it gets not put on Twitter? Why does it matter? Was that the project? If it's the Project Veritas guy, then this is another the company we keep type of shit. Defiant L's. You know, this is a one-way target. It's a one-way target. This is a broad sweeping thing, dude. You don't see the popular right-wing or left-wing versions of all this stuff. So you know that, like, popular left-wing stuff gets censored as well, right? Especially here on YouTube. We don't actually have much in the way of popular left-wing stuff here on YouTube that has the same numbers. Like, I guess the closest thing you would have is maybe, like, the Young Turks? And then past that, you have Hassan and ContraPoints and Vosh going down. But none of that comes close to, like, Tucker Carlson clips or Ben Shapiro's channel. I know this is about Twitter specifically, but, I mean, if we're talking about who does numbers more often, I wish it was the left more. What's also happening here is that he's saying, look, this only targets people on the right.
which can mean one of three things. First, that he's pulling this out of his ass. He doesn't have any information to say that only people from the right are getting hit. It's pure ass pull fabrication. Or it could mean that he does legitimately think this. He's not pulling it out of his ass, but he's not going to show any data. Less an ass pull and more a deliberate fabrication at that point. Or the final thing is that it's just full-on deliberate misinformation, which I guess is like the second one. It's either he's making shit up or he knows he's lying. Or the data actually does show that, and he's not going to show that data, in which case his point is just not being backed up the way that it could.
It doesn't exist. I mean, if it does, it's nowhere near as popular.
Ah, okay. So the ass pull. Got it.
Because the left really can't meme. Now,
And let's just go ahead and do the whole the left can't meme thing. Remember, instead of actually pulling up numbers on people who are in fact censored and are in fact affected by this, instead I'm going to pull out a random talking point. I'm going to quote it because you already believe in the quote. And if you already believe in the quote, then it's more likely that you are going to take that, internalize it, and go, yes, the right is being censored because the left can't meme. Yes, it is our memes that are being stolen from us. Yes, I need my memes. Okay. When you're worried about Andy No being taken down, you're not worried about memes being taken down, dude. You're worried about a literal Nazi-adjacent piece of garbage. Which leads me to wonder where you sit sometimes.
I do at times. There's a couple memes of me where it's like, oh, you put a black person in Star Wars, you made it political. I've never actually said that, but I've seen...
Aren't you the person who bitched about forced representation? Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Quartering have this whole bit where, like, he bitched about there not being enough white people in the Amonkhet set for Magic the Gathering? Am I confused here?
Seen that tweet get like 50,000 likes or something like that. I'll just delete it from now on. Haha, get wrecked, libs.
Cool. Then we'll just make a cartoon of your face where everybody knows it's you. Haha, get wrecked. Whatever your political ideology happens to be.
I mean, why wouldn't I? I don't consent to this. It's making fun of me. You know, tag me in anything where people are using my picture and making fun of me. I'll just take it down.
Then do it.
That's how this is going to go.
Then do that. Like, obviously, you've said that this only benefits the left, but you've given an example of how this explicitly benefits you, who's siding with people on the right. So, then just do it. Like, just do that then. And if it doesn't work out very well for you, if you're not able to get stuff taken down at the rate that you would expect, then maybe the issue isn't as bad as you think. I don't know. We'll see.
Right? Now, will it spawn some new version? Yeah, certainly the internet moves quickly, and it will, find some new way to exist. Memes will evolve. Twitter's policy sparks controversy just one day. This is a nice, well-intentioned idea that sounds like an absolute horror show to actually implement and enforce. How are you gonna? I mean, you're asking for, thousands of new staff members to, police photographs of people, and how do you actually prove that it's?
Wait, are you actually going to be asking for thousands of new staff members? Because wait a minute, hold on. Can I be a dick here and say that let's assume you're right. Let's assume you're right. Let's assume that bots don't take a front stand here. Jeremy, would this policy not just create thousands of new jobs then? Aren't those thousands of jobs for people? Is that good? I think that's good. Okay.
It's you. Am I uploading my driver's license, my personal, information? Am I uploading that to Twitter so that I can take down a picture of somebody making fun of me? I'll never do that. But politicians have staff that will do that. Corporations have staff that will do that.
Okay.
Maps, as they call themselves, have every incentive to do that. People who are committing, who are burning buildings down, they have every right to do that. I'm sorry, every incentive to do that.
Okay. So how often do buildings get burned down, Jeremy? How often? I understand the worry about pedophiles. I understand that one. Because let's go ahead and face it. If somebody is that type of person and their information does, in fact, need to be taken down, then yeah, posting their stuff on Twitter is a way to make sure that people see them more often. But let's talk about the enforcement here. They still are a person who is entitled to a bit of their privacy unless they've been convicted. If they've been convicted, then their stuff becomes public anyway. In a lot of cases, those are the things that you forfeit. Like, you don't get to say that, oh, don't post my mugshot online. Like, no, you forfeit the right to that once you're convicted. So unless you want to have this policy where people who have not yet been convicted of crimes can be on your shit list, then I don't think this update is going to have the actual effect that you think it will. Maybe I'm wrong. At the end of the day, yes, this is probably something that is going to benefit corporations more than anything, as most policies tend to be, whether it be to help private corporations outside the company that put up the new rule, or whether it be people who are directly affected within the company that put it up. Who knows? I don't know if the example about pedophiles and people he doesn't like who engage in protests that statistically were peaceful for the most part, I don't know if that's really the people who are going to be taking advantage of this the same way he thinks. But again, if I don't consent to my private shit being put online, then I don't consent to it being put on fucking line.
So is that it now? We're going to stop solving crimes on Twitter, or is it just crimes by people on the right?
Okay, so no, people are still going to solve crimes on Twitter. You see, here's the thing. A person is going to have to go in and say, hey, I don't consent to X thing being put up, which immediately puts an investigation on that piece of media that gets put up. People can still solve crimes using Twitter, Jeremy. People can still do that, because those investigations are going to have to be had for every single piece of media that they report. Not to mention, they're going to have to report multiple pieces of media. If there's a person who has violated a child and you want to solve the crime of who they are, where they are, etc., so that the justice can be done to them, there is no way functionally to take down enough of those pictures where that single individual is going to be able to protect themselves from those pictures being online. I'm sorry. This feels like false outrage. Like, again, the only good point is that this likely benefits only large corporations who are going to use it to hide stuff that they do not think the public needs to see. I agree with that. I don't think large corporations should have that kind of power, but it's like dealing with Classically Abby, where the good point gets lost and wrapped into this right-wing agenda shit. There's a brief mention of the corporations will take advantage of this, and then he focuses on protesters being the people who are going to be taking advantage of this and screwing with him. And then he says, oh, I could do it. Oh, but I won't. Like, Jeremy, look, Twitter already has all the information that they need from your driver's license. They have access to it. None of that's as private as you think it is. I'm sorry. You're on the internet. You're a public person on the internet. All your information is already known.
This is absolute insanity.
Is it?
And it's playing out to its natural conclusion already.
Is it?
Shout out to Toad McKinley posting this. Day one of Twitter's new rule against sharing private media already being used by, we'll call them the worst kind of people on the planet.
Just say sexual predators. You're not going to this late into the video. You don't have to worry about getting demonetized. Just say it with your chest. You're already showing it on the screen.
I think you know what I mean. To prevent users from warning other people about them. So people that enjoy their tender time with animals can now use Twitter as a place to network and meet up and plan meetups. And if you try to stop it, you get suspended.
Okay, so what's the example?
You see Toad saying, "Hello, furries. This is Toggle the Rat, host of just an awful podcast. He is a proud person that lays with animals. He is he is going to your conventions, Midwest Fur Fest. His real name is this, and his fursona is that." Now, it's a little dicey when you get close to doxing.
That is that. Hold on. Wait. So your example, granted, if this person is in fact an animal rapist, they're a piece of shit. They're a flamingly horrible human being who needs to be in whatever pit freaking Saf is. But Jeremy, what's happening here is very adjacent to doxing. And if you don't have evidence that this person is a zoophile, or better yet, if they have not been convicted of that, then you're going to have an issue here to begin with. I don't want to defend them. If they are the piece of shit that is being talked about in this tweet, then yeah, they're a piece of garbage human being. I don't know how many times I need to qualify that. But what you are showing here is an example of somebody potentially doxing. And if they are, then do you think that should be allowed? Do you think that people should be allowed to be doxed on the internet? I've heard of this guy's interview in this podcast. He is a V5. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Chaotic Vega. So they are a piece of garbage. So if Twitter knocks it down because there's a chance that this may be defamation in their eyes, there's a chance that this person did not want their real name shown in their eyes, then yeah, they're going to knock it down. But here's the thing. This one example is still not going to be indicative of the broad swath of this. Again, also, if you really think that this is that big of an issue, then just post that again. Post it again. The podcast is on YouTube for all to see last I checked. Cool. Then after this, I'm going to go ahead and look at that podcast and go ahead and report the damn thing so that they can get taken down regardless. So that I can both point out that this one example is not going to be indicative of the whole, likely, and also point out that on top of that, this person needs to go ahead and have their shit taken down. Remember, protesters are going to be said by Jeremy in the exact same breath as zoophiles. Why? Heck if I know.
But this is like literal helpful information to protect people. And immediately...
Wait, to protect people or protect animals? I mean, I'm being pedantic there. I'm being pedantic there. Maybe this is a thing where you just report it to the police. Hey, this person has said that they screw animals. Go ahead and report them to the police. Your dog can't read Twitter to protect themselves, Jeremy.
Got taken down by that person. So if you're a creep, you're going to be able to just go around online and take down anything that's out there protecting people against you.
Also, Twitter already people already were able to use Twitter as a place to network and plan meetups with to do this shit. They already had the ability to do this. This didn't change anything. They do it on Facebook too. This rule doesn't change that. Like, let's talk about all the ways in which this gets screwy. Revenge porn gets posted. Somebody points out they did not consent to that revenge porn being posted. Twitter knocks it down. That's a good thing. If you want to focus purely on the bad, the ways this can go bad, and only report the ways that this can go bad, then yeah, you're going to run into this. Your one anecdotal example is going to be the one thing that sticks in people's minds. But if you are instead willing to point out that there are plenty of ways in which this can be helpful to private individuals, then maybe you would have a more nuanced point. But instead, the way you went about that angle was to talk about how you personally aren't going to use it. Well, I don't give a shit if you personally aren't going to use it. I don't. I really don't. But people who are otherwise innocent can use it. Could be helpful to know that.
One might wonder if that's what Twitter really wants. I hope you enjoyed this video. Try out Alt Tech, try Getter, try Minds,
Or try going to dtlgplayground.com and using coupon code Suris to get 10% off of a dildo. Go fuck yourself. Okay, so this was a little meandering. A lot of this was just sensationalizing a policy change that, by and large, is at best a net neutral. Is at best a net neutral. There are ways in which it can be used for ill, like the example given. There are ways in which it can be used for good, like the example I gave. Only one example is given for quartering, of course, because it's not about nuanced conversation there. It's about making sure that a reactionary audience can feel like they are the victims and big tech is coming for them in another way, shape, or form, so that we can go ahead and grow his platforms over on BitChute and Odyssey. To be honest, I think the example he gave would still be an example of doxing. I don't know. Not 100% certain. Is revealing someone's real name on Twitter doxing? Sharing someone's private information online without their permission, sometimes called doxing, is a breach of their privacy on Twitter. Yeah, no, it is doxing. Kaspersky defines doxing as revealing identifying information about someone online, such as their real name or home address or phone number. So, yes, that was just doxing. Somebody doxed someone, and irrespective of their guilt, they had the information that could be used to contact the police, instead went to Twitter, and then Twitter deleted their tweet. Okay. Thanks, Jeremy. Now we know that you are, I don't want to say pro-doxing. That would be sinking to the same reactionary level that Jeremy is sitting at. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. We can be better than that. Anyways. So my legal first name could be used for doxing due to rarity. Oh, well, I'm glad I don't know your legal first name then. Anyways, with that said, this has been a bit of a disappointment. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. I feel like this was Jeremy bitching about effectively nothing, but he found ways to sensationalize it. I guess that's something, right? That's something that we can at least give him. Anyways, if you want to support my channel and what I do, hit the subscribe button. Go to the description. Go to Patreon if you want to. And as always, everyone, insert end of video tagline here.